hard, dude. This is also brutal to watch.
Backing of whom?
Wait, is this Fuentes?
With the backing of whom?
With the backing of CIA, of course. The organization you wanted to join back in the day, as I understand.
Let's go.
We should thank God they didn't let you in. Although...
No, this is real. Drasdy. I saw this clip without Fuentes. He actually said this to Tucker. It's really brutal.
With the backing of whom?
With the backing of CIA, of course. The organization you wanted to join back in the day, as I understand.
Let's go.
We should thank God
Brutal.
they didn't let you in. Although, it is a serious organization.
Not the interview, but the Twitter account? Groip Gang America First? Why?
I understand. My former vis-a-vis in the sense that I served in the first main directorate. So
Thank God they didn't let you in, he says. He says, thank God they didn't let you in. They're a serious organization. That's awesome. Dude, he's getting cooked, man. He is getting cooked. And Tucker's just got no app.
I thought Tucker and Trump were friends with Putin. Seems Hillary's theories are being blown out. You grackle. You realize that when people talk about them being friends with Putin or friends of Putin, people are talking about them being friendly to Putin and, you know, saying nice things about Putin when he's a horrible dictator of Russia and he does horrible things and is very blatantly using misinformation on a grand scale, right? Tucker and Trump thought they were friends. Maybe Tucker has different opinions now after this interview. They thought that they were going to get like juicy stuff out of this. They thought that, you know, think of him as someone that they can be allies with. Putin doesn't think that. Putin has never thought that. Putin is really smart. Outside of like his inability to, you know, realize he's got himself into a sunk cost fallacy with the whole Ukraine war, right? Outside of that, he's a pretty like politically savvy guy. And if he can use the most powerful leader in the world, you know, the president of the United States to his advantage, he's going to do that. Hillary was never wrong. Another W. Oh my God. Can we please focus on one thing at a time?
Like a puppy dog. You know, he somehow has, after having been fired from so many outlets in the United States, I would not be surprised if he emerges with a contract with an outlet because he is a useful idiot. He says things...
With what? Sorry. Was it just my audio or did they cut that out?
A contract with an outlet because he is a useful idiot. He says things that are not true. He parrots Vladimir Putin's pack of lies about Ukraine. So I don't see why Putin wouldn't give him an interview because through him, he can, you know, continue to lie about what his, you know, objectives are in Ukraine and
Tucker's major disappointment was Putin's answers on China. Oh, the clip compilation did not include those. So I don't know what he said about that. If you have clips of that, link it to me.
You know, what he expects to see happen. It's really quite sad that not just somebody like Tucker Carlson, who has, as I said, been fired so many times because he seems unable.
It makes no sense for Putin to belittle the person supposedly giving out his message. He's doing like a what's the word? Like a power play, because he knows that Tucker will never say anything against him. He knows that Trump will never like go as hard as he should. He'll say something. Trump will be forced to say, you know, negative things about Putin and Russia because he's the president of the United States and we have, you know, national stances for our own security. But, you know, but he is directly attacking Tucker's credibility. Yeah, his entire, like, Putin's entire thing is discrediting the media, even his own media, that he has to sign off on the narratives of. Yes. Thoughts on this argument? If it's Groip Gang America First, I'm probably going to think it's a retarded
Sodomy,
argument.
which is the act of putting...
One second. Okay, if this says any slurs, then we're moving on.
Their marriage is based on sodomy, which is the act of putting a penis in a filthy asshole. That's what their marriage is based on. It's just like a regular wedding, except instead of lovemaking to create children.
I just don't. I don't care about this. Sorry. Like, here's the thing. I am done arguing with people on whether or being trans or whether black people or or any of these like groups of people are. Oh, you know what? I just realized I never paused the game. My people are probably starving to death. Holy shit. We have zero food at all. Oh, we're so cooked, bro. Cool. Okay, well, we're not even really playing the game. But yeah, I'm done arguing with people on the morality of. I'm done arguing with people on the morality of being trans or of any of these things. I do not care what religious argument people want to bring to me. I don't care what this is where I'm at in my life. I like to argue with people. I like to talk about issues that are happening in the world. Being gay is not a issue. There are issues surrounding, trans identity and, healthcare, and the arguments on healthcare I can totally get behind, right? We can have that argument. And there might even be some points I'm willing to concede, or, some parts that, might need further study or something like that. But his argument in the clip wasn't just religion, but that marriage between two men who can't reproduce, who are too similar, is wrong. It comes down to a religious argument every single time. All right. I do not care about any religious argument. I do not care if you want to say, oh, well, they can't reproduce. Therefore, okay, well, if there was a man and a woman and the man gets a vasectomy, right, at like 20 years old, and then he becomes infertile and can't reverse the vasectomy, does that mean that their marriage is invalid? No, it's just cope. Okay. Is it not possible to private message on Kick? I'm really sorry. I do not know why it's keeping you from linking stuff. Again, you can DM me on Discord. That's probably your best bet to get something, or to join the Discord and drop it into the content suggestions. Although I feel like Grackle was banned from my Discord or left it. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah. Where I'm at in my life is I'm totally fine with arguing about like the policies around like the healthcare stuff and like that. But like, man, I just see so many people weaseling around a position based in hate, trying to find a logical post hoc reasoning as to why it is totally fine to discriminate against a person for something that they can't control. I just don't care about it. Like, could I have that argument? Yeah, we can sit there and we can argue about morality and we can argue about religion, and we can do that, and I can do that if I'm like pressed into a position where now we're so deep into the conversation to run away from it would make me look bad. Yeah, I'll have the conversation. But I don't like talking to people or arguing with people who are just hateful little unless I'm just going on to basically do that. Just call them a hateful, regressive bag piece of I just don't care. Claiming something is hateful isn't an argument. Yes, it is, actually. I don't like it, personally, when people are hateful. And that is my argument against it. If you're going to be a hateful little about something, then you can grab a rope, look up a YouTube tutorial on how to tie a noose, and figure out the rest from there. I do not care about all of this post hoc rationalization to discriminate against people because you are a hateful little. I know. I just can't handle these people anymore. Well, then why don't you join the commie crew and simp for Putin and call anyone who disagrees with you a reactionary? Because some of them do the same thing, Drasdy. Because the people like, I guess you and maybe Grackle, but it seems like you're the one making this argument. It seems like you guys want to have a logical reason to justify why you dislike a group of people. And to engage in a logic argument on that, yeah, we can do it. And I can point out the flaws in the argument and the logic and all of this stuff, right? And we can, just like I did with who I think you are and who I've thought you are for the past couple of months, right? Every time I see your name in chat, right? Panda Man, right? Just like I was when I had that conversation with him when, oh, well, I have this idea for a logical argument about why we shouldn't allow gay marriage. Okay, well, let's go down individually. Let's take every single one of these arguments in a vacuum. Okay, if we don't think that this one is actually bad in a vacuum, okay, so let's throw that one out. Okay, we don't think this one is bad in a vacuum, right? So we'll throw that one out. You don't agree with this one in a vacuum. Okay, so you have to like cobble together a million different arguments all together instead of going point by point in order to justify not giving everyone the same amount of rights or the same, dignity in society as everyone else. I think that at this point, you're just a hateful little no amount of logical reasoning is going to logic you out of your illogical position. You either have to grow up, graduate high school, get a girlfriend, engage with real life people in the real life world where you're not going to agree with everything that they say or do or act like, or, who they spend their time around or who they. The whole world doesn't need to know who is gay or straight. Super true, Grackle. I actually 100% agree. The people that are pushing the people who hardcore push all of the identity politics stuff, people both on the left and the right, these are the people that I think are super cringe and who I don't want to argue with about it. People who make being gay or trans their entire identity are cringe and they need to get a hobby. People who make their entire personality or their entire political project arguing that, trans people are evil and they're, manipulating all children into cutting off their little, baby boy dicks, are also horrible people that need to get a hobby. It's just insane to me. I think Fuentes is a hateful piece of shit, but you need to engage against people like that and not dismiss them. That only radicalizes their fans. If anything, engaging with pieces of shit neutralizes their claim of being ignored and furthers your goal. I have had a lot of conversations with these people, and I don't know how to put it into words, but there is a certain je ne sais quoi to how someone receives your message during a conversation. And I can tell almost immediately who is going to be able to hear what I'm saying and actually have that seed of doubt planted in their head, and who is actually just going to continue being a hateful little piece of shit because they are just a hateful little piece of shit and they don't want to change their mind, right? There are some people that can be logicked out of being hateful, right? They simply have the wrong information. They simply have been told a certain thing their entire life. They have all these biases as a result of that. And when presented with conflicting information, eventually will lead them down a different path. Whether or not they become fully pro LGBT, I don't care about that, But planting a seed to where they can tolerate them in society is the least I would ask of people. But that's the thing. I can tell when they're not going to be that way, though. Pretty easily, not gonna lie. Someone like Mio was the only time, and if you don't know Mio, you guys can, if you're new to my channel or something, you can go to my YouTube videos and you can find me arguing with the Groiper Lieutenant Mio, okay? But Mio is the only person in 4 years of streaming, about who I thought could be reached, and then realized a long time later that it was actually impossible, that they actually just want to be the way that they are. There was another guy that, I'm not sure if this video is up on my YouTube, but I was debating with friend of the channel, I don't know what their name is anymore online, but they used to go by Actually, they don't want that name being spread around. They're a friend of the channel. They're a mod on YouTube chat. If they come through, then I'll tell them to identify themselves. But I was having a debate 2v2 with Mio and some, I don't even know. His profile picture was like a soy jack with George Washington like style outfit on, right? And that kid, I think, was genuinely a good kid that just had really bad information. And he was a hateful little, but when presented with different arguments, with, you know, something that directly conflicted with his preconceived biases, the Mexican trafficking guy, no, not Todd. Okay, Todd wants to be a hateful little. He thinks it's funny to say that we should kill Mexicans, even though he means it. He still thinks it's funny because he thinks that it's funny to kill people. Yeah, Todd's a piece of shit. But yeah, this other kid, he ended up becoming normal. He actually started, you know, hanging out with people that he wouldn't want the other groypers to know about, right? CTE Todd? Wait, CTE? Which is CTE Todd? I'm talking about the former politically provoked host, Todd, you know? The other problem is so many positions you consider reasonable to engage with are considered hateful by some. I mean, a lot of Marxists believe capitalism is genocidal. Since you acknowledge you shouldn't shut people down for being a capitalist, why don't you engage with people who are pro-traditional family values? I don't care if you're pro-traditional family values. That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But if you are pro-traditional family values and then you want to impose that on all of society while taking away other people's civil rights, am I talking about Panda Man? No, Panda Man is Drazdy, 99% sure. And I've thought about that for a long time. But Panda Man is not a groyper. He is just a retarded high school student that needs to interact with people outside of his personal bubble so that he knows that gay people and black people and trans people are very normal IRL, and that when you get all of your interactions with them online, and when you get all of your interaction or all of your information about them from online, you generally turn into a hateful little cunt. Drazzy hasn't gone off about the Jews, so, well, hey, Drazdy. Never mind. I'm not going to say something and then get clipped on it. The CTE guy does seem PP-esque. I want to know who CTE Todd is. We haven't finished this minute and 22 second clip. Anyways, yeah. So just like as a general spread for people wondering why I am less argumentative with people in chat as I used to be, or why I'm not willing to like go deep into these things, and I'm way more willing to just say like, actually, KYS. Actually, just like go live in the forest if you don't want to be a part of society, right? Like if I do like a soy hand wave of a person in chat, it's because I am too old and have with too many different kinds of people in my life to feel the need to argue with people that don't have the same kind of experiences as me. Because I've said this a million times. My one thing that triggers me like on stream is when people are actually hateful. When I think that someone's like doing a meme, right? I can deal with it, right? But if they're hateful and then they pretend like they're morally righteous because of it, it really triggers the ever-loving shit out of me. And then I end up saying things that make me have to delete my VODs and possibly get banned off of, streaming sites. And I don't need to do that anymore, right? I just don't need to do that. There's no reason for me to. I'm saying Marxists believe capitalism is imposing genocidal force like you think gay marriage restrictions are evil. Wait, I'm saying because I can argue about the Marxism capitalism thing, but like generally speaking, Marxists don't believe in like good and evil. They just believe in like material reality. So they're never going to have this like moral superior high horse unless you're talking to one of like the modern like neo-Marxists that are super unhinged about identity. But I'm never going to argue with someone that thinks that capitalism is imposing a genocidal force on the world that is also like as morally unhinged as cringe loser conservatives who want to say that, oh, well, because gay people have butts, they shouldn't be able to have the same civil rights as I do. Anyways, yeah, like I can deal with people who are like groypers who are very hateful people, but they don't think that they're morally better for it. Maybe on like some like deep intellectual level, like, or like somewhere deep in their brain, they're like, yeah, because I am white, I am more morally, you know, superior to everyone else. But like, they also know I'm being a piece of shit right now. They know while they're doing the racism and the like anti-Semitism, they know that they're being pieces of shit about it. And they think it's funny, and they think it's based to be hateful. And so it doesn't bother me as much because they know they're doing it to get a rise out of me. But when someone's being a cunty little, you know, trying not to use words that are worse than when you're being morally superior while also being a like ass racist or a ass like actual homophobe or transphobe, right? Which I never just call someone that, right? But when you're doing that and acting morally superior and you're like using all of these all of these, you know, moral arguments to post hoc justify why you're morally superior about your like visceral hatred of another group of people. Yeah. Now I just feel like giving you bad gun safety advice. That's just where my thought process goes. I don't have patience for it anymore. And I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older. Maybe I'm maturing, but I just don't think I want to deal with it anymore. Why do you have that double standard? It's not a double standard. You are just incapable of understanding it. If Marxists believe capitalism is how and can't be engaged with it, and you recognize how retarded that is, why do you want to treat anti-gay marriage people like Marxists treat capitalists? Well, for one, the reasons that I listed earlier, because I understand Marxism and because they don't put moral loading on it, unless they're talking to like a neo like Marxist, and then it's going to be a completely different kind of argument, right? And then why do I want to treat anti-gay marriage people like Marxists treat capitalists? Well, Marxists can't treat capitalists in any way, shape, or form in the way that they want to, because Marxists can't even like go to therapy without getting anxiety about talking to their therapist. They can't even go to treatment for their anxiety because they have such bad anxiety. All right? There's never going to be a Marxist revolution. Marxism is like slowly dying out, like actual. Are you saying you don't understand religion and their point of view on it? I do understand religion, and I do understand their point of view on it. I grew up in a religious household. My dad was a preacher for the majority of my life. 2 of my uncles were Southern Baptist preachers. I understand the religious arguments. However, my family aren't hateful little cunts. And so I understand that religion does not necessitate being a hateful little to people. In fact, every message in every church that I've ever gone to in my entire life has been about love and acceptance, even of those people who you don't think are following God's morals. Every single church that I've ever been to has said, hate the sin, love the sinner. But you retard fake Christians that come into my chat and want to talk to me about religion, when Jesus was a guy that sat down and took off his sandals and then washed whores' feet. When you guys want to talk about, oh, you just don't understand the religious point of view on it. Yeah, I do. You guys just hide behind your religion, right? Which you could get every single good message out of. But you guys use it to be hateful little cunts. All traditional cultures before the 17th century were anti-gay marriage, so they have all offed themselves for disagreeing with you. Yes. That's exactly what I said, Drasdy. Hey guys, by the way, I want you guys to recognize that Drasdy decided to pull up Old Testament religious arguments. Who does that sound like? Hateful against the hateful, typical lib. Wait. Hateful against the hateful, typical lib, always being hypocrites? Yeah, exactly. Like, again, Like, I know it is my most soy trait that I have. I have the soyest trait, and it is when someone is being actually racist or actually homophobic or actually transphobic, it gets a huge rise out of me. I get actually mad, and I wish that I could control that, but I've lost my patience for it. I can't control it anymore. I say horrible things. I called Panda multiple slurs, okay? That the end of that conversation or the follow-up, like calming down chat afterwards will never be able to be published because of how many slurs I called him. I am really angry when people are actually hateful, when I think that someone is actually just like subhumanly incapable of interacting with the rest of society because they have a particular hatred of another person that happens to live in the same society as them. They should leave my society. You were claiming you can be religious and fine with gay marriage, so of course I challenge that. Yeah, that's your opinion because you're 16 years old. You have a very hyper-specific view of the world because you haven't been engaged with the world for more than 2 years when your parents finally removed some of the parental controls on your computer. Like, do you think Trump supporters are welcome in society, Sansol? Yeah. But you gotta.
So they get all the top actors.
1 second. Pause. Trump supporters. Yeah, obviously. I have friends that are Trump supporters. IRL. I don't have a problem with just blanket Trump supporters. I think they're retarded, and I think that they need to wake the up. That they're their throat has been just opened with a Clockwork Orange eye-opening device, but on their throat so that Trump can shove his cock as far down it as possible, and they're just gulping it down for the past 8 years. They cannot recognize that they have fully bought into a cult. Yeah, I think that they're retarded, but I don't think that we should just blanket remove all Trump supporters from society. No. But what I don't like is these people pretending that they're pure people when they haven't actually ever met more than one gay person in their life, and maybe the gay person made fun of their shoes at school, and so suddenly all gay people are catty little that we should definitely never be okay with. I don't know. I've told you in the past I've had weird feelings. Well, thanks for being open and honest about who you are. Gender presentation, you really think I'm incapable of empathy with disagreement? I think that you are incapable of seeing past your own biases and trying to logic your way around religious guilt. That's probably the biggest thing. You are either A, perfectly normal and you've thought that you were gay or trans at some point, which I think that is not a abnormal thing for most people, right? You're probably straight, you're probably not trans, but there's a possibility that you are, gay or trans in the closet and you just don't know it or can't accept it right now because of religious guilt. And I feel bad for you because of that. And I feel bad because you're a 16-year-old and you trigger the out of me and you say horrible, unbelievably hateful in my voice calls and in my chat, and then you're incapable of recognizing when you are a hateful little or why I have the reactions that I do. I am trying my best to be better about not saying horrible, despicable things to hateful little cunty high schoolers, all right, on stream. Trying my best not to say horrible things to you. But you have to understand that you can have empathy and disagree with someone's lifestyle. Yeah, I've always said that that's totally fine if you disagree with someone's lifestyle. You advocate and have come on my stream multiple times to talk about policy to discriminate against these people because you disagree with their lifestyle. I disagree with the lifestyle of tradcons. I'm never going to make it illegal to have a tradcon life. I disagree with people who have huge polyamorous fests every single weekend with their giant polycule of mentally ill, furry, adult, trans, they, thems. I disagree with that lifestyle. But I'm not going to do anything to legislate that and make it illegal. On the cock stuff, yeah, just bleep it out. I apologize, but I'm getting triggered. Why would I be patient with you because of your recovering throat? You're typing. As long as it is 2 or 3 or 20 consenting adults, who cares? Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't care. Hey, thank you for subbing to the channel, buddy. I don't care if it's consenting adults, right? Obviously, if they're not an adult, fuck them. Yeah, the adult should be thrown in jail if you're like raping a child or something. That is obviously something that I would legislate. I am not okay with people legislating perfectly consensual adult relationships. I can't understand it. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, well, we need to move on. I've been on this tangent for too long. This is why I'm not going to be. Not having a government license isn't having your relationship banned. Yeah, you're incapable of understanding the point. I know I said that we're permabanning you forever, but we'll just live with a week-long timeout. Go away. I'm not dealing with hateful little in my chat. I was pretty patient up to this point, but alrighty. Let's watch we'll watch this short and then we'll go into the Hassan memes.
And they get the top musicians. The Grateful Dead is played there. And a lot of them aren't getting what this ritual is. It's a Faustian German.
Oh, you know what? I've never actually listened. I don't think I know a single song by the Grateful Dead. I realized this last night. I was adding songs to my work playlist for when I can play music at work. And Grateful Dead popped up as a suggestion. I was like, you know what? Everybody loves the Grateful Dead. I've never listened to a single one of their songs.
So they get all the top actors and they get the top musicians. The Grateful Dead is played there. And a lot of them aren't getting what this ritual is. It's a Faustian German death cult ritual.
May I ask, what's their mission statement?
Their mission statement is weaving spiders come not here and forget about the cares of the world and do basically a voodoo ritual.
Sorry, I received a text that I have to respond to. I have to replay this again. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Starting it over. Then
so they get all the top actors and they get the top musicians. The Grateful Dead is played there. And a lot of them aren't getting what this ritual is. It's a Faustian German death cult ritual.
May I ask, what's their mission statement?
Their mission statement is weaving spiders come not here and forget about the cares of the world and do basically a voodoo ritual. But I don't say that from Africa. That's just a common term of where you put something onto something else. Like they used to have spirit sin eaters in old Europe and England, where they'd have somebody where somebody died, you put a piece of bread on their stomach, and a sin eater would come and believe that they ate some of the sins and take some of the bad mojo. That's basically the same as voodoo. And so they do voodoo there, and it's a ritual where you put all your cares onto this child that you give to the idol, and they take it very seriously, but the way it was described to me is a lot of people that go to it, it's a place to party, hang out, talk about stuff. So they get all the top actors, and they get the top musicians, the Grateful.
Okay, I don't know why we watch that. Okay, we'll finish this, and then
Ukraine,
we'll watch the Hassan thing.
So I don't see why Putin wouldn't give him an interview, because through him...
Brianna Wu on the phone? No. I am not employed by Progressive Victory. I do not take any money from anybody except for my chatters. By the way, you guys should subscribe to the Kick channel. You guys should subscribe to the YouTube channel. You guys should become members. You guys should be donating. All right. I am really bad about, I've never fostered a culture in this stream of paying me for my time, but I'm needing to do that now. All right. I love you guys to death. It is time to start raking in the money. It's time to get the dividends for all the time that I've put into streaming. All right. Thousands of hours over the past couple of years. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. We haven't finished this.
He can, continue to lie about what his, objectives are in Ukraine and what he expects to see happen. It's really quite sad that not just somebody like Tucker Carlson, who has, as I said, been fired so many times because he seems unable to correlate his reporting with the truth, but also because it's a sign that there are people in this country right now who are like a fifth column for Vladimir Putin. And why? I don't know. I mean, why are certain Republicans throwing their lot in? Why are, other Americans basically believing Putin? Why did Trump believe Putin more than our 11 intelligence agencies.
I don't know. Do you have a working
I
theory
think I
on
do
that?
have a working theory.
Oh my God. Please don't, Hillary. Please go away, Hillary. Oh my God. Please don't relitigate it. Okay, let's get rid of all these tabs that we don't need. Can someone link me the clip of Trump talking about NATO? That's the last thing I want to go over on stream because we're gonna have to end in about 45 minutes, and I'd love to do at least one actual segment today for Tron. Even in the Bible, love between women and men wasn't there. Only love in the Bible was between men. Oh, is that true? Okay, let's watch this.
To a relatively affluent family, and if you're like even so I grew up in Turkey. To a relatively affluent family, and if you're like even a little bit affluent in Turkey, because of how massive the wealth gap is in a country like that, you're caked up in comparison to like American standards, where if a similar salary.
All right. Yeah. Catch you guys later. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube or follow me on Kick. And, we have the memberships on YouTube. We have the subscriptions on Kick. If you guys want to, throw a couple of bucks my way, there are some nice little treats for you. Different emotes and different AI things that the editor can do for you. All right. I'm really bad at promoing. I love you guys very much.